Previously.
The different options for transporting pets. There's cargo, and there's just under the seat, and then there's excess luggage, and then there's the Queen Mary, and then there's charter. Welcome back. Busy Friday here at AE Pets. We still have Feathers and Fur Express, Lindsay Maroon with us, and there's Aaron and Sam, a couple of my colleagues here at AE Pets. AE Peeps is what we call them, I call them. So we have today a question from someone out in Pennsylvania. Aaron, what do you got for us?
I have Cindy from Scranton, Pennsylvania, and she asks, can a pet shipper guarantee a flight date so I can be on the same flight when shipping my pet overseas?
The answer, Lindsay, I'm going to give my answer, and that is no. How do you handle it, Lindsay?
We get that, very often actually, that people when people call, they say like they have to be on the same flight, or even after they've hired us, and we've made it clear that we can't guarantee that, they still push. But, we do, we just we tell them the flight that we plan to book on if it's not within the booking window. And we just make sure to tell them like, look, there's no way to guarantee that the airline's going to book this flight. They're all first come, first serve. And then on top of that, anything goes wrong, maybe the AC isn't working properly in the hold or whatever, your pet can't fly on that flight anymore. There's a lot of variables with cargo, and we just cannot guarantee dates. If your pet's on a freighter, those flights, obviously you can't put passengers on. Yeah. So there's a lot to it.
They give you a hard time about, they don't give you a hard time about that.
Like they just want their pet to be on a passenger flight.
Okay.
Therefore, it's just not possible because their pet's on a freighter.
Wow. So they push back on, or even do they circle back after you already tell them that we'll do our best and all that and let you know what the flight is? Do they give you a hard time coming back?
No, not typically. The real issues we have are when people, we at this point, we put it in multiple places before we're hired that we can't guarantee the date.
So we don't really have to do that. Okay.
That we can't guarantee the date. Right. Not that we can't put on the flight, but therefore, if we can't guarantee your pet's flight date, then obviously we can't guarantee that you're going to be on the same flight as your pet, because we can't guarantee the date your pet's going to fly for sure. So whenever you do have a flight booking and for whatever reason the airline cancels and someone's booked their flight on that date, that could, they can end up getting very frustrated.
Do you get that much where they come back and say,
Generally not. I will say that typically our clients are very understanding because we try to be very straightforward and upfront.
Sure.
Before they even hire us about, these situations.
Right.
But clients that we have had that do end up getting really upset, that usually is why, because they're not getting the flight date that they want.
Right.
And, that's because they want their pet to fly on the specific date for a reason. Obviously, they have their whole plan in place. And sometimes
flexibility. I say flexibility for sure. Also, what people need to know is that some people, unless it's, there's excess baggage, which is an option, but they also people understand you don't have to be on the same flight. Some people aren't sure for cargo if they have to be on the same flight. They have to be on the same flight, and they don't have to be on the same flight if it's cargo. And I've gone over the different types of transport, the ways to transport in a previous episode.
And for the most part, it doesn't even benefit them to be on the same flight because they think that they would have some access to their pet if something were to happen or whatever, but they won't.
And there's the whole wait time like afterwards. Sometimes it takes up to 4 hours to get them through customs.
Right. Yeah. And so
if they have a layover, it's like you be on that route.
We say, so what we say is, because we have the conversation, and this is my advice to anybody who will listen, that if you're going to spend your time, if you're moving everything overseas and you got all the stuff going on, that should be at the bottom of your list of stuff you need to worry about. Worry about everything else, because at the end of the day, you may not be on the same flight.
Absolutely.
I got good news. Cut.
Right.
AE Pets loves their cats and dogs.